Hello, it is William calling from Wiwibloggs. It is September 18th and the EBU has kindly given us an update on their plans for Eurovision 2021. Should we talk about it? Let's do this! Back in May, at the end of Europe Shine a Light, producers told us that Eurovision 2021 would happen in some way, one way or another, and they are making good on their promise. They have been behind the scenes evaluating different scenarios, different possibilities, looking at how legislation and coronavirus restrictions have been changing to try to forecast different ways they could make this happen, and they've come up with 4 possible scenarios. Now, I'm going to do a lot of reading here verbatim so that I don't miss any of the details, but essentially scenario A, this is a normal Eurovision, a most likely sold out arena in Rotterdam Ahoy, a full crowd, people excited, all the artists attending and performing there on the ground. In this situation, the Eurovision Song Contest will be organized as normal from Rotterdam's Ahoy Arena with 9 shows, including the dress rehearsals, in a packed venue with delegations and artists from all the participating broadcasters and numerous activities in and around Rotterdam. That, of course, includes the red carpet. That means having a Euro Club, a Eurovision Village, a press center, hopefully. The feasibility of this scenario largely depends on the rollout of a possible vaccine for COVID-19 or the availability of reliable testing. Now, as we know, earlier this year, a lot of governments were saying, we'll have a vaccine by the end of 2020. Didn't happen. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the top infectious disease doctor in the United States, he has said mid-2021. That would be, of course, after Eurovision. So if you were looking at the vaccine, it's up in the air, but I wouldn't be too confident that that would happen, sadly. The reliable testing option, though, is really promising. As some of you in Italy may know, Rome and Milan, the airports there, are trialing 2 COVID-free flights where they give people 30-minute rapid coronavirus test before departure. You can only get on the plane if you test negative or present a certificate that shows you've tested negative within the past 72 hours. There could be something there. Even today in the UK, there are reports of new, faster testing kit options. So fingers crossed that by next spring, these are much more readily available. Now, scenario B is proving very popular with our readers on Wiwibloggs. We're running a poll asking which of the 4 scenarios is most likely, and scenario B keeps popping up. This is essentially a socially distant Eurovision where you have a crowd, but people must maintain 1.5 meters of distance. This will be dictated by the Dutch laws at the time. The Netherlands has already had several socially distant concerts. Jean-Guy Macroy, their 2021 and 2020 singer, he's actually held one, which our Esma Janssen attended. And it is very clear that the Rotterdam Ahoy has experience doing socially distant events. This is actually footage shot today at the press conference at Rotterdam Ahoy. Our Esmo was there. And as you can see, they've got these lovely tables. There is distance. There's plenty of space, lots of air, lots of room to breathe. Yeah, it gives you an indicator. I'm sure a lot of you are counting the seats. This is what the EBU says. Everyone present at the Eurovision Song Contest in Rotterdam would need to practice social distancing and remain 1.5 meters from each other at all times. Again, there would be 9 shows with an audience in the arena, but with limited capacity to allow for social distancing. Now, obviously, if you're having to socially distance, that means that you can't fit as many people in the arena, which means that people who've bought tickets, they won't necessarily get to go. This is what the EBU has to say. Teams from each participating broadcaster would travel to Rotterdam, but with limits on the number of people in each delegation and on the number of press who could attend. Activities in and around Rotterdam would be adapted accordingly. Because there would be less space for the audience in this scenario, a new seating layout would have to be made. If that happens, a fair draw will be held to decide who can still attend each show. There will be more information about this in the first months of 2021. Anyone who is unsuccessful in their draw will, of course, be refunded the full purchase amount for their tickets. If I'm just going with my gut, this seems like the most realistic option. It's great that the artists will still have the buzz of a live audience, but it just seems much more practical in terms of safety. Certainly looking at May from where we are here in September, this just seems like a beautiful compromise. This is scenario C, a Eurovision Song Contest with travel restrictions. A Eurovision Song Contest probably also socially distanced from Rotterdam's Ahoy Arena as in scenario B, with 9 shows and a limited number of audience members in the arena. If there are any delegations who cannot travel to Rotterdam, their artists will perform from their own country. All performances in the shows will be brought together in Rotterdam, the entries of the countries that are allowed to travel, and the opening and interval acts will still be performed live. And finally, we turn to scenario D. This is the Eurovision Song Contest in lockdown. Should the Netherlands end up in a lockdown-like situation again, there will be a Eurovision Song Contest without an audience and probably without activities in and around Rotterdam. The performances of the participants will all come from their own country and be brought together from Rotterdam's Ahoy Arena, much like we will see at the Junior Eurovision Song Contest in November. A definitive choice between scenarios will be made based on the situation in the early months of 2021. Again, this shows their very careful planning. The fact that Junior Eurovision in November will be staged remotely as a test run effectively for the Eurovision Song Contest means they'll have a long runway around which to decide how to do things if it comes to that. Testing the technology, figuring out behind the scenes logistics about whether they record these performances, where they're transmitted, how they're sent, when they need to arrive, all this stuff that we don't really think about when we're at home watching. They'll be piecing that together in Poland this year. On the whole, I'd say yay to the Netherlands. This takes so much thought and careful planning and consideration, and they have certainly considered their options. They have drawn their battle plans. Reading in the comments on social media, a lot of people are complaining, oh, why didn't we do this for Eurovision 2020? But again, hindsight is 2020. So much has changed. People are better prepared now. You couldn't have done this back in May because there was just too much uncertainty. And so I really wish people would stop begrudging producers saying shoulda, coulda, woulda, blah. No, they couldn't because it was a different scenario. I want to quote executive producer Sietze Barker. He said in the EBU statement, "The ambition to make it happen and to make the best contest to date is definitely still there." Well, I believe him. I am feeling it. I'm really hopeful that scenario A or B will happen. But if not, at least we have C or D. We still have a song contest to celebrate, and there will of course be lots of online activities for fans to keep us all engaged. We'll do a Wiwi Jam at home, it'll be amazing. But if scenario A happens, you better believe I already have a club booked. I'm ready to go. We need to explore whether we can do that socially distanced. I doubt it actually, we probably just have to cancel. In any case, that's a quick roundup of the various scenarios. Which scenario do you think is most likely, and what is your dream scenario? Obviously, scenario A, so I don't even know why I'm asking that. In any case, let us know here on Wiwibloggs. If you haven't seen it, our Esma has an interview with Sietze going up on YouTube, or maybe it's already on YouTube, depending on when this video is published. Be sure to visit our YouTube page and see if it's up. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.